Hello everyone. In this video we're going to start with lesson 7, which is talking about biotechnology. We already studied what is the DNA and how the cells are dividing. We want to use this in our life. So the biotechnology, as you're applying what you know about genes, what do you know about the DNA, to use it in our life, how it will help us. Let's start first with the definition of biotechnology. What is the biotechnology? Is the use of is the use and application of living things and biological processes. So this is the function of or definition of the biotechnology. For forensic scientists for forensic scientists, what they are doing, they take they find like hair, or find the sweat, or sometimes they find some of the blood. They use this for what? To make copies of DNA, right? For example, you heard before, for example, botanists breed flowers for example, bright red blooms. Genetics work to place a human gene into the DNA of bacteria, for example. So all of these, they are application of living things and biological processes. For biotechnology, actually, in the past 40 years, new technologies have allowed scientists to directly change the DNA. They start to insert some parts of the DNA on other organisms to get use from the good genes or things, or desired things. Biotechnology is not a new scientific field. Actually, it has been used for thousands of years. Humans have been using biotechnology to breed plants and animals, and to ferment food using bacteria and yeast. All of these things are part of the biotechnology. So biotechnology process fall into some broad categories, a lot of categories. Some of the techniques of biotechnology includes artificial selection. This is under the biotechnology field. Genetic engineering is under the biotechnology field. Also, the cloning is a part of biotechnology field. We will talk about these fields in details. Let's start with the first one, artificial selection. Actually, for thousands of years, humans have carefully selected and bred plants and animals with desirable traits. For example, sometimes they start to, for example, some cows, they have the ability to make a large amount of milk. So they start to breed only the cows. They are making a large amount of milk. So this is a desirable feature or thing that is required. So here, because you're choosing the cows to breed, here is called artificial selection. So it's the process of selecting and breeding organisms that have certain desired traits. Sometimes, for example, they use corn. Some corns, they have a big it's a good corn. For example, they start to breed only the plants with a good corn. They are making good corn. So here it's artificial selection. Sometimes so artificial selection can be successful as long as the desirable traits are controlled by genes. And here you only allow the organisms, they have the desired genes to be breeding, to breed them. Animal and plants breed select for allele, which are different versions of a gene. The allele being selected must already be present in the population. People do not change DNA. Here we don't change the DNA in artificial selection, during artificial selection. What they do instead, they cause certain allele to become more common in population or and to pass to other generation. So the different, for example, if you have the different dog breeds are good examples. If you look at your book at 163 of artificial selection, all dogs share a common ancestor. For example, the wolf. However, thousands of years of selection by humans have producing dog with a variety of characteristics. So this is an example. For example, some people or some some farmers, they select a type of wheat to be bred by thousands of years, so these are carrying only the genes, they are having the good or desired genes. Let's look at this one here, listen carefully.
Biotechnology is the use and application of living things and biological processes to solve problems. Artificial selection is the breeding of organisms for desirable traits. For millennia, people have used artificial selection or selective breeding to develop desirable traits in plants and animals. Over tens of thousands of years, artificial selection has been used to develop modern corn, turning it into one of the world's most important food crops. Click the images to learn more about this application of artificial selection.
Look at this.
A grass-like plant called teosinte is the ancestor of modern corn. It developed seed pods that produced a single row of small seeds. Teosinte originated in Mexico and Central America, where people used its seeds for food thousands of years ago.
Look at the modern corn now.
By selectively sowing the seeds of teosinte plants with desirable traits such as more and larger seeds and taller stalks, it gradually developed into modern corn. Today's corn produces large multi-rowed ears filled with large kernels. It is used by people around the world as food. It is also used to feed livestock and other animals.
So here, this is the first application of biotechnology. So just to remind you, breeders select for, in the artificial selection, breeders select for allele which are different versions of gene. The allele being selected must already be present in the population. People do not change here the DNA during artificial selection. Artificial selection causes certain alleles to become more common in a population. I want you to go to page 162 in your book to solve question 6 and to solve question 7. Let's solve these questions together. Let's look at question 6. Name 3 examples of biotechnology. What are the 3 examples of biotechnology or application on biotechnology or examples of biotechnology here, not application here. So, sorry for this. Let's write them. For example, examples of biotechnology, breeding plants, also, for example, fermenting food, and copying DNA found at a crime scene. DNA copying. DNA found at a crime scene. Okay, so this is for question 6. The last question 7 here. Why might farmers use artificial selection to develop different types of vegetable? Uh, for sure, to produce vegetables with different colors, shapes, and taste desired for desired what characteristic actually. Okay, so here, so to produce vegetables vegetables just hold on, vegetables with different colors, taste, shape. So these are the answers. If you still have a question about them, you can send me your question. This is for artificial selection, the first application of biotechnology. So next time we will talk about genetic engineering. If you have any question, you can send me your questions. Thank you for listening.